Welcome back. I'm James. Devin's helping me out. And today we are working strategy just as much as we are working our technique. What are we focusing on today? It's kicking while retreating, kicking off the back foot. There's a few different ways to phrase it. That's a couple off the top of my head. Now, what does that mean? It means creating space, drawing your opponent in, and using that space you've created to follow up with different kicks. It can be done as a counter. It can be done as a draw attack, meaning you enter, exit, and draw someone in. A lot of different possibilities. I'm going to go through a few of them today. First and foremost, however, if you have no ability to kick backwards, here's 2 drills to help you refine that skill set. Very simple, very straightforward. The first one is just going to be doing my low fouettes on the retreat. So we make space, I start off in the right distance, I land my kick, and after kicking, I retreat all the way into the opposite stance. My partner steps in, I kick, retreat, all the way into the proper stance, kick, and retreat. Simple, straightforward, but that's the basis you want to start from. Show again on the opposite side, kicking, retreating, kicking, retreating, kicking, retreating. Again, fully extending my kick, and retracting my stance afterwards. First example, super easy. Second one, still beginning with that lead fouette. I kick and retreat, and now as he steps in, I jam. So again, I'm kicking, retreating, jamming. This time, as he steps in, I'm leading with that lead leg chasse as I've gone from my left lead into my southpaw. My right leg now being my rear leg. And just like that first drill, we work it going back. Looks like this. Kick, follow up. Kick, retreat, follow up. Kick, retreat, fire. Very simple ways. Quick and easy. Strike those 2 low targets. So there you have your fouette, creating that distance, and then jamming with the chasse. Now we're getting into a bit more of the strategy. In this case, Devin's going to be the pursuing party, I'm going to be the one retreating, and he's just going to be working behind that double jab. Broken down, it looks a bit like this. We're saying he's covering that distance, stepping as he does his double jab, 1, 2. That's if I'm just catching. There are 2 steps necessary. I step back once, and then a second time. If I want to kick, though, that second step needs to be longer. So I take 1 short step, and then a longer step. So I'm out of his punching range and directly into my kicking range. That step needs to be longer for a very simple reason. If I stay here and try and kick, that right hand is very much within range. Once again, if I catch, step back and try to kick from here, that right hand comes over the top. I'm in too close of a distance. My partner will and should tag me for it. So instead, catch, long step back. Now I'm out of that punching range. I can kick, that right hand still won't reach me. So again, he's jab, long step back, and now I can fire off my kick, and either leg works. I can finish with my lead, or I can finish with my rear, like so. Or off the lead, like before. If you can, I like checking the hands, especially if I'm coming with my rear leg. So I'm catching, and I take that step back. I still like to check with my hand as I shift and kick the leg. So first example, catch, step back, lead fouette. Second, catch, check, rear fouette. Our next example comes off some of that draw attacking I was talking about. So this time, I'm the advancing party initially. I can do this with pressure, or I can do strikes. The concept is the same, it's just using footwork or your attacks, depending on the approach. Now what this means is I'm going to be the advancing party to start. So whether I'm double jabbing my way in, I can be entering off kicks, follow-up punches. That's not really important. What I'm doing is finding a way of getting him moving back. Sometimes just stepping in is enough to make someone take that step back. And in the way you can rely on that step back or force it, you can also rely on that step back in many cases, not all. So that could mean I am double jabbing my way in and then backing out. He instinctively is probably going to want to fill that space. That's what you want to take advantage of. So again, I'm entering, stepping back, and now I can jam, lead a rear leg. Again, I'm entering, 1, 2, stepping back, boom, firing off. Making that space, it can be a short step back or a very long step back, changes what tool you're going to end up using. For instance, if I'm entering in, double jabbing, maybe I follow with one of my fouette, and I retreat back to this opposite stance, I have different tools now. So as he steps in, I can fire my low chasse, as in the example earlier, or I now have a few power weapons set up off my back leg, such as this. So again, double jabbing, firing my fouette, retracting back. Now that I have this leg back here, I can reload, and when he goes to step in, fire off that kick to the body. This is a great way to change to a open stance situation, fire off that rear leg kick. One more time, again, I'm entering, kicking, retreating, firing off as he steps back in. From the other side, I'm entering in my punches, my kicks, I retreat into the opposite stance, and I fire off that rear leg. You'll see that time I use my chasse frontal instead of my fouette. You're not just locked into one technique. Make sure you mix it up on the return. Last but not least, consider this one a little something extra for those of you who actually stayed till the end of the video. Same concept as before. I'm entering in with my punches, firing off my kick, and retreating into this opposite stance. But now, as he starts to step in, I step across. This is a great way to set up a spin kick off what then became my rear leg. So just like before, I'm entering in, firing off my punches and retreating. But as he steps, I'm coming across, spinning, firing off. In that case, it's the spinning chasse. Make sure, if you are doing straight up Savate rules, I cannot kick, turn, and back kick. In terms of French boxing, no back kicks. The hips need to come all the way through to fire a side kick. From the other side, again, my entry is the same. I'm using pressure, firing off, withdrawing, stepping across, and firing as he comes back in. Creating that gap, drawing him in, and finishing with that spin. One more time. Again, filling that gap, drawing him in, catching him as he enters. In any case, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Drop your questions down below, and I will see you next time. Sir?
You're welcome.